The only reason a customer chooses to buy from you is because you're cheaper. You don't have a business. You have a price tag, and price tags can be replaced. Welcome back, it's Luke here from Built by the Trade. So today I'm going to be talking about pricing and how you work out your pricing system instead of being on hourly rate. So the way I was taught how to work out a pricing system is through a labor rate calculator. Now, the labor rate calculator is a spreadsheet which will have everything that it costs to run your business on this sheet. And once you have this whole sheet filled out, it will tell you, and it will give you a value at the bottom what you should charge per billable hour for each technician. So on this page, if you had multiple employees, it would tell you how much you should charge for each basically employee out on the field. And the thing with this is, if you don't do this through either a spreadsheet or an accountant, you'll never know exactly how much you should be charging. So a lot of things that I've heard from trade coaches is a lot of guys driving around don't even know what they should be charging per billable hour. So that's very dangerous, because as we know, we've got to pay taxes, we've got to pay bills, and we've got to keep the business alive. There's two main focuses in business: solve problems and make profit. So if we can't make a profit in the business, we're not going to be around to be able to solve problems. So who do you get these labor rate calculators from? So either I got mine from my trade business coach. I have one, but I'm not sharing it because I didn't make it, and it's not fair to the trade coach, it's his. So, and also there's another way. It's through your accountant, and they will know how to work out a rate like that because they're good with numbers. So there's two different ways you can work it out. So basically what you can do once you work this out, you can either build a price book, or you can add the value of your labor rate into an existing software, because all these new softwares have upfront pricing, and that enables you to add a value in there, so you can get your upfront price inside the actual software. So I built my own price book. You could do it yourself, but firstly you got to work out your numbers and what you should be charging. So this system will enable you to give exactly a price per job, not per hour. So upfront pricing. So for everything in your maintenance company, or even just quotes, you can just quote straight off this. So let's put it down to how this system works. So you're not going to be able to just go from straight up, hourly rate to upfront pricing. There's a process you need to learn, and that's sales and how to present pricing and options and things like that. So we'll give a scenario. Basically, say you go to a customer's house, you walk around and you find the problem, and they're with you, and they basically say, how much is this? And then you're going to drop a price because you know your pricing now, you know your pricing system, you got a software, or you've built your own price book, and you just drop a price. You're not going to be able to just drop a price like that, because you're going to be charging a lot more money now compared to what you've charged previously. Because when I first found out what I should be charging per hour through this upfront pricing, is going to actually shock you a bit. Because when I first found out my pricing, it extremely shocked me, because I was nowhere near what I should be charging. So you're going to have to grow some confidence, and you're going to have to learn how to sell. So the way you would do this pricing system is a whole pricing process. So you'd go to the customer's house, you'd knock on the door, introduce yourself, and then if the customer straight away wants to go straight to the problem, you got to sort of you got to slow it down. Because if you don't slow it down, you're going to rush into the price. You're not going to build enough rapport or trust. So there are going to be reasons why the customer won't go with you on the quote you're going to give them. So you need to slow down the whole process. You need to start building some rapport with the customer. Then you're going to start asking good questions to the customer about the issue. and then you'll find out what they care about and what they don't care about, things like that. So after you go, let's say for instance it's a tap's leaking in the shower, and the customer's like, oh yeah, the tap's been leaking, you know, it's this problem's been going on for like 6 months or whatever. And you look at the shower and you go, oh, okay, they're old crusty taps, they're hard to turn on and off, and the customer's like, yeah, I don't really like those taps. Then you're used to just going there and doing like a service on the tap. So what I would do in this situation, I would say, look, we can give you a few different options to get this fixed for you. So I'll do a little investigation to have a look at the taps, turn them on and off, see what sort of taps they are, if they're quarter turn, if they're jumper valve. Then from there, you'd say to the customer, look, I'm going to go back to the truck and work out some options for you, and then we'll get this fixed for you. So I'd go to the truck, work out the options. Now, there's 3 options you could go with. And you always want to give 3 options when you're going to go through a sale, because it's going to increase your average ticket, but also it's going to take the conversation away from a yes or no answer. And it's going to give you a lot more chance of actually closing the sale. So you'd work out your options. So either tap service, replace the taps with standard sort of chrome taps, or upgrade taps to like quarter turn taps. So there's 3 different options. Now, before you leave the truck, I'd have option 1 as the most expensive. This is going to be psychological, because when the customer sees this number, they are going to see a higher number as the first price. Then every price after that is not going to be such a shock. It's psychological. So option 1, upgrade to quarter turn taps. Say, I'm just going to throw numbers out there, 600. Option 2, it's going to be standard taps, say 450. And then option 3 is tap service, 250. So 3 different options, 3 different prices. What I would also do before you go back inside the house is have the actual taps you're going to replace the taps with. So if you have standard and quarter turn taps, you'll have them in the truck. Take 1 of each tap, put in your pocket, go and present the price to the customer. Hi customer, look, I've got some different options for you. Let me know what you'd like to go ahead with. Option 1 is to upgrade to these sort of taps. They're quarter turns, you know, they're nice and easy to turn on and off. The second option is standard taps. They're similar to what you have, but they're brand new. Look, it comes with like a 10-year warranty. And option 3 is just servicing the same old taps, and look, maybe a year later it's going to happen again. So you give options to the customer and let the customer choose what they want to go with. So the customer could go, well, what do you recommend? And then you can go, look, what do you like? Here's the taps, tell me which one you like. And then they might end up picking the quarter turn taps. They might end up picking just the standard taps, depending on what they like. So the thing is as well, let them hold the tap, let them feel it. That's another psychological sensory fact that's going to help close the sale. So once they feel the tap, they get it triggers I forget the exact word, but it triggers inside their brain and it helps close the sale. So they'll go, oh, okay, great, I actually like these quarter turn taps, let's go with this. You go, great, here's the price. They already know the price, they've seen it, they sign it, and then bang, you get into the sale. You've closed the sale. So originally you went there for a tap service, then you've moved up to a whole new tap set, which is upgraded. So from a $250 sale to a $600 sale, you do the job, you get paid at the end, and you walk out, the job's closed, and you're done. So that is one way. I'm going from hourly rate, not knowing how to present pricing, to presenting prices, closing the sale, and getting payment. If you've liked this today, leave us a comment, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next video.